current revival scenarios are believed by some to be nothing more than a shot in the dark.
You're trying to cheat Mother Nature. All of us come to this earth, we live a finite life, and eventually leave this earth in the form of death. And eventually, every species will die, and it's a propagation of the species which keeps it alive.
For reanimation to stand a chance of working in the future, cryonics will have to begin by unraveling the death process itself, something present-day medicine has yet to solve.
If death occurs and lasts for minutes and hours, then you have irreversible damage to the individual, primarily in the brain and perhaps in the heart and many other functional tissues.
The invasive nature of the toxic vitrification techniques of the early 21st century will also need to be reversed.
We do know that we will have to devitrify the patients. We're going to have to repair whatever damage was caused by the application of the stabilization protocol, and we're going to have to cure whatever it was that killed the individual.
These are seemingly insurmountable obstacles. But there is one emerging area of science that cryonicists believe may offer hope: a future revolution in atom-sized medicine.
Nanotechnology will definitely have a place in reanimation the way preservations are performed today. We know that things like fracturing and some of the cellular damage will need to be repaired on the cellular level.
Each of these tiny nano-robot machines are estimated to be only 250 nanometers in length, or 400 times smaller than the width of a human hair. Ralph Merkle is a key research figure in the world of nanotechnology. He's also on the Alcor board of directors and a member himself.
We are going to be introducing molecular machines, trillions and trillions of molecular machines, to repair the trillions and trillions of cells in the body. And this nanomedicine is going to revolutionize our ability to cure and heal. It's the fundamental reason that we think cryonics will actually work.
But the role of nanotechnology in the future of cryonics is hotly contested. Dr. James Baker is also looking at ways to develop medicine at a molecular level, but built from the body's own biological systems.
I think, unfortunately, there's been really an inability of people to present what's real and what is fiction. Many of the mechanical structures that people talk about, small robots, are impossible. They can't be made because they violate the laws of physics. And while it is a very attractive thought that they could fix cryonics and make us all immortal, the real likelihood is that anything they're talking about now would not be able to fix the major issues with freezing and fracturing of tissue and disrupting of cells. There's no data for that at all.
For the cryonics patients of today, reanimation remains nothing more than a theoretical concept. And even if the body could be physically rebuilt, no one can predict the potential psychological damage.
Once they're revived, then we'll have to deal with the social, psychological sorts of issues. What are they going to do for a living? How will they understand what happened in the time that they were preserved? What happened to their family?
Even if Tilly were to agree to be freeze-dried with me, and we were to be thought out together, we might not have any memory of who we were, any knowledge of language, personality, character, and we might not fall in love and consider to be married again. And so that's a whole other issue beyond physical preservation, which I understand. But I don't think that is sufficient to do nothing.
And while Alcor may guarantee their patients will be looked after when in storage, there are no certainties that a future society will do the same, if they're ever brought back.
I sincerely think that the science will pull it off. What I'm worried about, more or less, is the society. Will the society allow it?
How does the story of man unfold? Where will we be, 500 years from now? Will we be more violent, less violent? That's the whole reason for doing it. to see the world in a different light, to see how things have evolved. Are we driving around in cars, or is it sky cars? I wouldn't want to be an animal in a zoo or some kind of oddity. Presuming that the same laws are in place in terms of personal freedoms, I don't think that they could isolate me or keep me under lock and key.
But critics maintain these are issues that will never be a problem, as cryonics simply will not work.
Do I think the money spent in cryonics is a waste? By and large, yes. Those people who are working on trying to preserve organs is an admirable thing. But cryonics has no redeeming value.
But as medicine continues to push back biological frontiers and improve methods of cryopreservation, nobody can definitively say if cryonics will work or not.
If someone wants to say it's wacko, that's their prerogative. I'm certainly not going to argue with them. I'm just going to keep working on it until we have a real answer.
Science fiction has become science fact in the past. We've seen that flight to the moon made the transition from being science fiction to something that would actually occur.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Almost every major advance has met with its critics, who have said that it's impossible, unworkable, uneconomical, and then, of course, when it's demonstrated, they announce that it's obvious and they knew it all along.
If this is the case, in the future, Michael and Anita Riskin will be seen as the pioneers of this radical branch of science.
In an ideal world, we would both be revived simultaneously, with our memories and identities completely and be intact. And if I had to picture a perfect scenario, we would be sitting in a comfortable chair with our arms around each other and saying hello again.
I definitely hope that when Cryonics comes up with a cure, that they will bring me back so I can go on and have a wonderful, happy life, which I enjoy very much.
Well, that was the last in a series of Stranger Than Fiction. Next week at 9, Hidden Lives and Britain's Fattest Teenager. Next tonight on 5, we've a double bill of Big Love.